Ooh, happy Earth Day again, everyone. I am going to be joined in a few seconds, minutes. Hopefully he's going to appear soon. Apu Rolando from the Philippines. And I just got off a side call with him, and it was some juicy revelations. So we are going to talk about that. And in the meantime, I'm just grateful. Like, I just had that great call. Earth Day appeared to be super reflective, and I didn't even realize. So come on down, beautiful people. Hello. Excited to have you. We're going to have Rolando soon. I'm so excited. He is going to be one of our guides with Mayari. And Mayari is the 9-week course container for people to rediscover themselves in integrating ancestral Filipino traditions as well as modern practices. So he is here, and come on board. Y'all feeling good? My goodness. Let's.
I how to shift. Okay.
I see your screen. There you are.
Okay. I'm here.
You're here. Oh, so here.
Yeah. It's noisy really here. No. I'm using a sound card here so that I could be heard. Can you hear me well?
I can hear you well. There's some like background noises, but that's okay. I'll let you get cut off. But for the most part, we hear you. Happy Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day. I'll just change my headset.
Okay. I love what you have behind you too.
It's our altar.
And you are calling from Bulacan?
Yeah, I'm calling from San Jose del Monte, Bulacan. Yeah, San Jose del Monte.
Yes, I love technology that we can just do this so easily and connect. And this is also why I'm so excited that you can also share your knowledge with us and we can create together. So we're talking about what area that you're going to focus on in teaching. Well, first, before we dig deep into that, like share with everyone who you are and just your background.
Okay, I'm Rolando Gomez Comon, but many people know me as Apo Admanagama. I am the founder and chief priest of Luntiang Agama Natural Divine Art Shrine of Healing, which is a reconstructionist organization, religious organization. We are trying to reconstruct the indigenous belief system in the Philippines. But in order to start that, now we have also established Hilot Academy of Binabaylan, and through Hilot, now we have reconnected or we have rediscovered our roots of the ancient spirituality of the Filipino. That is the belief in the Diwata, the Anito, and the Encanto. No, and through our work, we started year 2000 in Luntiang Agama as a spiritual organization, but Hilot Academy started on 2015.
Yeah, actually 2015 I felt like was also a very powerful year for me too. I think that was just also me wanting to discover what the Philippines was like before colonization. I remember I started or I didn't start, but we created a book club for Babaylan Studies, Center of Babaylan Studies, like we around that book. Like there was just surge for Filipinos in the diaspora to also understand this traditions, like the Hilo traditions. And so we were all been just like, I feel like piecing it together. And that's what it looks like here in the States, away from the Philippines, or in different countries as well. So it's so I'm so like grateful to have you here, and that you've started like schools and institutions and organizations there to continue the learning and the wisdom. And it's an honor to have you with my.
Actually, the Hilot Academy can. We're not a formal school, no. We're not a formal school
That's
that that
fine.
that register. But what we do, instead of teaching, we are sharing, no. We are sharing our knowledge, because for me, even we started this Hilot Academy, I really feel myself as a fellow student, no, just an elder student, no, that do the task of researching, of proving. And what we are trying to do is, because folk healing, or traditional healing method of the Philippines, can be called as folk medicine, no.
Mm-hmm.
And if it is folk medicine, it is shrouded with superstition and mystery.
Mm-hmm.
And what we do here is we try it and try to discover the science behind our tradition. Although last time, I have discussed na compared those country that maintain their indigenous spirituality, such as China and India, no?
Mm-hmm.
In China, the traditional medicine practitioners of China are called doctor.
Mm-hmm.
So as those in India who follow their traditional indigenous religion or spirituality, those who practice traditional medicine in India, the Ayurveda, are also called doctor.
Mm-hmm.
So what is similar, or common to them, is that there are no religions that this allowed them to continue or tell them to discontinue the practice of healing, no. So it allowed to progress and develop. It is through their spirituality that allows them to develop the medicine, so that they gain the title of becoming a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
In our country, for almost for already for 500 years this year, no, Christianity and even Islam, not Islam, no, because they at least during the time of Islamic time, they are liberal. They still allow us to do our religion, no.
Mm-hmm.
Except on the Christianity, there are so many do's and don'ts on the Christian religion, and through that time, the Babaylan, the Mumbaki, and the Catalonan were being forced to be converted into Christian religion.
Mm-hmm.
So there were no development. The development of our medicine has been suspended, or not allowed to progress, no. So now, during this modern time era, since we are exploring spirituality,
Mm-hmm.
we are trying to reconstruct it and to revive it, so that we could achieve that level of excellency in terms of caring and healthcare.
Mm-hmm. And this is something that we were just talking about as well, because part of Mayari is actually using Vedic tradition to integrate. And that was just something that I felt was as a pathway, so that as we clear each energy centers through the Vedic tradition, and also using Filipino practices, that will also allow us to be an awareness. So the purpose of Mayari is the idea of awakening our inner revolution. And what is that? Is just awakening to our real authentic self. And we talked before on the call about like the root chakra. So there is not a chakra system in the Philippines like yet, or like what is the comparable?
Actually, when I asked, although the reality, no, we as a Filipino have been part of the Srivijaya and Majapahit Empire, which is a Hindu Buddhist empire. No, it started in Indonesia. Though the influence of Hinduism and Buddhism here in the country have started probably during 100 AD up to 900 AD, no? Last April 21, year 900, we have the Laguna copper plate inscriptions. So this is a dated document in our history that proves that on 900 AD, India, Hindu-Buddhist tradition are widely in control of our country, no?
Okay.
Even though that we are Hinduized or Hinduized, such as we have so many Hindu influence, such as the belief in the Diwata, no, the Diwata of our country.
Yeah, share what is the Wata for those that don't know.
Oh, the Diwata is a diva, no? It is derived from a diva, which is a deity, no? It is from the Hindu-Buddhist tradition. Diva is a shining one, a light being that guides us, humanity. And to some other people, they think that the Diwata are the gods and the goddesses in our culture. So it is widely spread. But according to the historians, such as William Henry Scott, even though the fact that we are being influenced by Hindu-Buddhist, they found that the natives have their own similar practices that is still different from the Hindu Vedic tradition, such as the word chakra. No, when I asked old manghihilot albularyo here, they said, do you know ano chakra? No, I don't know. What is that? So I describe what chakra means according to the Vedic tradition, no? So the simplest word that we could tell about chakra is it is an energy center within our body. Oh yes, we have that. So even though that they don't recognize chakra, no? Because the problem with our manghihilot and albularyo is non-schooled. It's not that they are not educated, they are non-schooled. Because that Hilot tradition is being passed orally.
Verbally.
They don't go to school verbally, no, and they do it through apprenticeship, and the practices were different from what is being taught in the school, no. So they don't know about the chakra, pero they recognize that our body has a center that produces energy, and that is through the first soul of the person, which is called ulirat.
Urira.
Ulirat, no? So ulirat. Actually, Filipinos believe in multiple souls, no? We have 7 souls. I think it's not only the Filipino, but other races also have this belief on multiple souls. Pero in history, in our country, no, even on some writings, I didn't find that what are those 7 souls. Pero successfully in Hilot Academy, we have determined what and identified the names of those 7 souls. And the first soul is Ulirat, no? So Ulirat is like an electricity that activates life within the body. It is like a wheel that turns, a wheel within our body that makes the hand of the clock moves. No, that's why at the moment of conception in the womb of the mother, the heart beats already. So that's the ulirat that makes that unborn baby to be alive. So in order for that life force to begin, when the baby comes out, the doctor are activating, or the traditional birth attendant are activating its first chakra. Although there are no chakra system, no, but we have this tumbong. Tumbong is the base of the spine, and when the birth attendant is they tap the baby on the butt so that they will cry to grasp the first air, or to grasp their first breath in the real world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about like that is the first like waking up, like here you're here, and also you were talking about how that is something of like them, they're releasing also, not taking on any of like the toxins of the mother. So part
Yes.
also. So it was funny because before I was asking like, okay, what would be the practice for us into activating like the root chakra? And you would prescribe spanking.
Yes.
And I'm like,
Yes, no.
hmm, on a did not know it was going in that direction of like also in a can be in a sexual way of like of spanking of like that's why it's also enjoyable, but also it has its like to get you back into your body, like this jolt to be like, oh, I'm here.
Yes, because diba, the root chakra aims for survival and the power to or the willpower to live, no, to live our life.
Mm-hmm.
So when we first came out, no, spanking is a one of clearing up those blockages,
Mm-hmm.
no. If we clear out of that blockages, life force will come into our body that will lead us. The purpose of life is to grow, diba? To grow and to have progress. So when our life, no, when a child will grow, no, if we don't, if we see that boy is naughty, or the child is very naughty and always doing bad, it means that person is not allowing growth to happen, no, in his life. That's why become bully and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to restore back the senses of the child, the
Mm-hmm.
mother need to spank to remove the blockages on the person, because life allows progress, allows movement, allows growth. If a person is selfish, no, how would uh, that that certain things grow if it only been trapped within you, no? So it's a form of blockage. So tapping or spanking, slapping is a form of activating life force to flow within the person.
It's interesting because it could often you can take something that has been used as just like, okay, awake and be here. Because there is the tapping to tradition where we like tap ourselves, where it's like, yes, I literally, it feels good to have my own tantrum. And then people, you can take it to an extreme. Like then I think then over tradition or over time, then people use it and it's for, it's used for abuse. It's used for control where then that can impact the child into then just remembering the pain, right? And that has other effects.
Yes, no. That's why I'm struggling if I'm going to share this to everyone, because I know there are laws that been written against spanking. Pero we are talking about our tradition. We are talking about the tradition, and why is spanking or tapping as a form of wake up call, no, wake up call.
And
Although in terms of disciplinary action, there are many means of disciplining
yeah,
our children. But for us as an adult, no, sometimes we need a tap so that we could wake up, like Chef Dana said, wake up call, diba? It's like a wake up call for everyone. Na hey, come back to reality, because many people nowadays are like what we have talked before we're live, no? Now people are anxious. They are not living in their own life. They are wanting to live other life in their body.
mm-hmm.
That's why there are many problems. And even on bullying, in terms of bullying, no? Parang, okay, I'm your boss. I'm self-centered. Just praise me. Just look at me. something like that, no? So self-centered. There is problem in the root chakra, no? They just, in the root chakra, in caring for the tumbong, no, we can train ourselves, especially during the childhood, in performing toilet training, toilet manners, no, because here, when you train a child, they will recognize their feelings, their sensation, and they could control it, no, and they have to deal with it by going to the right place and venue in order to eliminate that feeling, such as if you are urinating or pooing, no. So we have a right place for that. But if a baby is not being trained, or if a person is not being trained when that person is still a child, no, it means you don't have care for other people, no. You just do what you want, whatever you want you get, no. That kind of person can be a problematic, and they require other people to pay attention to them, because if a child learns how to control, they know how to deal their problem in the future. They could face their problem and give solution. And we can see people become bully because they have not been trained to use the toilet. And we're talking about toilet training here, but we're literally we're talking about the root chakra, which is in Filipino, we don't have that root chakra except that we have tumbong. It doesn't mean that in that chakra is not familiar to us, or the chakra system is not familiar. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist in the body. We have a counterpart, no, such as the chakra in English as energy center. We have the ulirat, and the root chakra, or the muladhara in Vedic, muladhara, no, it means in the Tagalog, in the Philippines, we call it tumbong. Although it is a nice term, no, in Sanskrit, the word of the root chakra is muladhara. Parang it, mula meaning from. Although let me just check, because the root chakra here, the muladhara derived from two words, from the word mula and adara. So mula, as I researched that, no, it says, asan na siya? I'm looking for the documents that I written, no, that I wrote. Sabi dito, mula means root or origin. So that's the meaning of mula. And adara means support, base, and foundation. So it means the toilet training, or the tumbong, it means also a root. It is a root. It is like a tip of the sword. It is like the tip of the sword. Now that is the tip of the sword, which becomes the root that we could point to other people, either to teach you, you teach control and power and trust through that ano, and adara, it means support. Ay, tama nga ba? Yan. Support, base, and foundation, which is also can be described or can be understand on the tumbong part, or the root chakra in Tagalog. So in order for that, no, we have to go back to the basic of our life training as we grow, such as on the toilet training, because it can be also on the activity of our stomach and elimination, no. On that we feel sensation kasi. We feel sensation when we pee, when we poo. So on that sensation, it teaches us to recognize our own self.
So that was when we were like, when how we were trained, right? Affects us how we are also now today, right? So from what I'm getting sense to with is in like in potty training, like in when you were able to your body and release, that also teaches like this self-control of like self-awareness. This idea that you have control over your body and then you can wait and hold it. Like the first experience of like, oh wait, I can go over there and release, right? And so I didn't realize like how when we say like potty training is so important and instrumental to the development of like of humans is because that's when they first develop that we have awareness over like our body, that we can do something about it, that we.
Yes.
And what's interesting that you mentioned as well is the points when we're trying to live, it's like we're not in our bodies. So wanting to go back of like in a sense, like as adults, like we need to like kind of be shaken up, right? And I can see that sometimes like for children, in no way promoting slapping or spanking, but like as adults in who we are, like we often like tap our bodies to just like, wait, I'm here, I'm here. And from what you're saying is because we're so we can look out, like almost our spirit is like living through someone else. Like we can be so connected to people that we don't know, that we how does that now that, and if we're not rooted into our bodies, then we can be controlled or manipulated or just highly influenced by other people's needs and desires. And also what we see in whatever influence in social media, they don't even have to be like right next to us or having a relationship, but even that, if we are not anchored into who we are and our values, then that can, we're literally like being I guess like taken, this idea of like our minds are being controlled.
Actually, yes. Actually,
Actually,
the term is wandering soul. Our souls always wandering around.
yeah.
That's why some Native American Indians have this technique of soul retrieval. Because most of the time our souls are wandering around. But for us as a Filipino, it is much more than just wandering, no?
Mhm.
Actually, in reality, years ago when I started this ministry in Luntiangagama, I talked about spiritual poisoning.
Okay. What does that mean?
So, spiritual poisoning is because people have forgotten who they are and what they are and their purpose in life. No? During the time of, that's why I think in the US there is a decolonization movement, right?
Yeah.
No, decolonizing movement. For me, we need also to have spiritual detoxification. Spiritual detoxification. And activating the root chakra is an essential ingredient so that we could detoxify the poisons that been attached to us. Because right now, like what you mentioned,
What do you think the poison is? Before you go on, what do you think the poison, like in real terms, what is the poison? Because I am also hearing a lot of my friends recently are like, I have not been able to sleep. And like they've just felt this haunting sense and wanting to purge. And so when I'm saying like purge, there is this detox. Like people are like, we're going through a cleanse. And so it's like, what are we cleansing from? What is the poison that you're explaining or referring?
okay, I'll be radical on saying this, no?
Yeah.
The poisons that we have is first is commercialism, capitalization, and colonization, no?
Okay.
So everything have changed from us. We have forgotten our identity. Since the colonizer came, they introduced us foreign teachings. And that foreign teachings are being adopted, embraced by the people that they throw out the old tradition.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
no? And this continues not only in terms of religion. They started to form a government in our country. So the government are implying laws that used to neglect the tradition. Aside from the government, we have the schools. They started to build up schools to teach them how to write English or to use the Latin language, and we have forgotten how to write our own baybayin, di ba? Then aside from that, from the school, we have the healthcare delivery system, and they have changed the way how we treat ourselves with nature. Instead of natural means, they change it from biochemical means, or synthetic means. And even on the role of the society, before, the babaylan have a higher standing and higher respect in the society. But right now, most of the babaylan, Mumbaki and Catalonan, are being neglected. So this is the poisons that we have through our generation. And even now, when the social media, the television, the radio, the internet nowadays, they are being used to give suggestions. Oh, this is the life. This is the kind of life that you should have. Okay, you should have a new phone. Di ba? Parang, wait, the natural communication process has been actually this is very beneficial, no? It might have benefit because it allows us to travel through time and space. It is morning here and it is evening there, right?
Exactly.
But in some family, in some homes, even that they are in front of each other, they will communicate through cell phone. That is so sad. So the method of communication has been replaced through this, through the technology that we have in the modern days. And that is also a poison that we need to cure.
It's so interesting because I was just talking about our cell phone use recently because I left to go to Costa Rica and it was just so lush and it was just so overtaken by how green it was by the jungle, like the depths of nature was everywhere. And so the desire to even take out my phone, like even just barely, like just because I wanted to share the animals and I wanted to share like the noises, but it was not as like necessary or a need of an impulse. Like as soon as I came back to the States, I was like, okay, there was just something I'm like, oh, I've missed it for so long. Like I all of a sudden just had this urge to create, to connect through people on my phone. And what's so interesting is because now that they're connected through their phone, how much are we really present? Like, how much are we really present to what is happening around us? And this is great. Like, we're connecting through here. And there's also, then they know, whoever, right? What we're talking about. Like, this is the form of communication. And then there's a whole system that's behind us that's just keeping track of how we're communicating, how we're behaving together.
That's right.
When I'm thinking poisons, I'm thinking of also like addictions. Like things can be very much created as an addiction, and when on things that we think are helpful, that can also be like maladaptive, like not good for us. Because when there's an addiction, that means we're not aware. It means like we're not focused or at what we need to be doing at hand. So I'm feeling like that's also, from my sense, like a necessary purge.
No, actually, what is interesting about the topic that you've given me is also about the ability to let go. No, to let go of that addiction, to change, to be renewed, no, and to feel great again, no. So I think the workshop that we are going to conduct on the following days, no, or on May, I think May,
May
no, parang,
Basta.
yeah, on May 11th, na people will learn the importance of letting go.
Mm.
So there is an example. What if your tooth, you're having a toothache,
Mm-hmm.
and your tooth is decaying,
Mm-hmm.
and it need to be extracting? How will you do? Are you going to let go or let the tooth stay within you?
It's gonna hurt.
It's gonna hurt, but letting go will allow you to extracting your tooth will remove that pain for you forever.
Mm.
So that is one example also
Mm.
of letting go. But every day, our root chakra is telling us, okay, within the day, what are the bad things that you have taken into your life? Not just only on going to the toilet, but it also reminds us what are those toxins that you need to cleanse out.
Mm-hmm.
That spiritual toxins, that emotional toxins, that mental toxins that you need to So remember, always remember that our root chakra, the tumbong, tells us the teaching of our ancestors. Because the one that slapped us is our mother or father. And through that discipline, our ancestors are teaching us something. So probably there is a meditation session na what is the reason why you are being spanked or you are being disciplined by your mother and your father. So with that, there is a lesson that they are giving us them to us, no? Why we are being spanked. So in every time, actually I remember, oh, what lessons did you learn? I learned blah 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 blah. Diba? Parang there's a lesson. You don't give a spank to a child if they don't commit any wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You there is a lesson that they should learn from that. Not just only pain, it's not only just hatred, fear or hatred towards them. That but there should be love on every tap or every slap that you give to a child. And it's not only on that, no. So it's much recommended talaga, and our ancestor, if you are going to spank a child, spank on the butt. I don't need to show my butt.
Great. So how do we do this for ourselves, like as adults? Because this is where then I got into like the sexual part of it of like, well, there is that spanking part. Um, but I don't like that's a whole other topic of what I thought of like of connection or coming back to your body. Um, the the idea of, well, here's also something that I also disagree on, of like this idea of like right or wrong. And also I'm also like, I don't think I would use the spanking in order to like discipline my child. I'm like, I definitely know I won't. But what is this idea though of lessons, right? So also I think sometimes we think it's like we even call in lessons for it to hurt us until we need to change. So that's also something that I'm seeing of a connection of sometimes when are you going to learn to like that's actually going to hurt you in the future? Is it and so that's what there's an understanding of like that the pain or that like waking up for like that slap, right? And then sometimes we can go into a direction that's like really hurtful. And it's like, if it's hurtful, like, is that the direction that you want to go to? That it's not good for you. Something though that I feel like if you're grounded and if you know who you like, if you're connected and you feel rooted, then you can avoid also like the suffering.
Actually, on my on in my understanding, no,
Mm-hmm.
pain is always become a teacher for us. No,
Uh-huh.
if you fall down and if you got wounded, you learn that on the next movement that you do, you'll be careful.
Mm-hmm.
You'll notice where you fall down. If there's a rock or a bump, you will avoid that. No?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or probably you will clear down the way before you do. No, so
Mm-hmm.
for us as a Filipino, I see that there are many ways how they remind themselves of that lessons in life that they need to go on.
Mm-hmm.
Such as the ancestral one is on the process of tattooing,
Mm-hmm.
batok,
Mm-hmm.
tattoo, no? It invokes pain, eh. It invokes pain.
Mm-hmm.
So, in every tap of the needle
Mm-hmm.
on the skin, there is a lesson that being imparted to that. And there is power that used to mark on your skin that serve as a reminder for you that you are a human and you have overcome this trial or this tawag dito, these challenges in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And some other tradition infused with Christianity, there is a process of during the Holy Week,
Mm-hmm.
there is self-flagellation. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
There is self-flagellation. No, they said that this is a form of punishing themselves, of repentance from their sins, their past sins. No, but amazingly, this is just an observation. No, this is just an observation. But amazingly, those people that do penitence, self-flagellation during Holy Week, after the Holy Week, they used to do also healing. No, they are also spiritual healers.
Mm-hmm.
No, so I don't know if it is just coincidence, but those people who do that are also on the spiritual healing part.
Yeah.
No, it means it activates power, such as what you are telling na wake up,
Be.
tapping on yourself, di ba? Topic, at least that's gentle, not self
Mm-hmm.
unlike the self-flagellation. So continuously waking up yourself allows power to run throughout your body.
Mm. I was just thinking that is this then the same concept with like the ice plunge when people go into like cold waters, like Wim Hof did created this technique, or he discovered, who knows if we've done it before, but of resetting the nervous system by going into freezing cold water. For at least 2 minutes to reset your system, and then in that you are then centering your nervous system, and then it's like you're able to um activate your willpower to like that, to sustain it. So when you were saying like actually it's power, that's it's this sense of invigoration. Oh
Yeah, di ba? Parang it's so
my.
I didn't know, but it's quite enlightening, no? Through this, we have find some we are it's like we are unboxing treasures of our culture in the past.
I know it's probably a jump that I like connected like BDSM in like multiple ways. It's a jump and I was not expecting that, but um that's just where my mind went. So this is just so, I'm just so like fascinated and so interested of like what what traditional Filipino healers, or from their understanding of how to bring back spirits and souls back into the body. Um, and that's one thing that I'm like also kind of wanted to go back to around soul retrieval. And it's like, how can you also identify when you are like floating, right? When you're not feeling like when you're not completely here and you need to like do the grounding activities, or I mean these things you get to do every day, but like what are the like clear signs of I guess a wandering soul?
Yeah, most people are being wondered, no? Pero ito lang, no? It's very noisy talaga. Pero what I noticed even on the soul retrieval process of the Filipino,
Mm-hmm.
food is connected.
Oh, food.
Because they will, yeah, because the process of soul retrieval called the batakdungan, no, batakdungan, where they call the soul together with all the encanto, with the diwata and the anito, they will prepare so much foods. For example, if if at the back is table, it will be filled with foods.
Mm-hmm.
There should be fish, there will be chicken, there should be meat of pig, there should be rice, there should be different kinds of of, of fruits.
Mm-hmm.
There should be seeds like corn, mungo, etc., etc., and there should be wine. No,
Mm-hmm.
so it's a feasting,
Mm-hmm.
and they call the soul with a glass of water. Veronica, Veronica, uwi ka na dito. Veronica, come home, come home. Veronica, I am calling you, Veronica. Something like that. No? Pero, when they call you, there should be food. And then, in order for you to wake up, for your soul to, they will grab rice and put into your mouth. So, the traditional healers, no?
Mm-hmm.
Batakdungan. So, I think the rituals of our ancestors are connected with the food, and also it connect of grounding ourselves. And you, if you are hang out, it's like floating out of your consciousness. No, you ground yourself by tapping and then giving food
That is
or water.
so simple, because that's also happened. It's after I did like a Reiki session recently, and then I didn't eat for a couple of hours. I was doing tasks. I felt like so ungrounded, and then someone was trying to give me information, and I'm like, I can't. Like, I just need to eat. And what you're saying is like when someone is really gone, like right, just really, really gone. The ways where if we're still present, but I think we talked about how we're not able to handle adversity if we are not grounded, right? If we are not rooted, like it's easier to handle what comes to us when bottom line, when we've eaten the right food, right? But when we're also just feeling really present in our body.
In our body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I remember that you asked about anxiety and depression, what we could do, no?
Mm-hmm.
The ancestors usually ask us to walk
Mm-hmm.
barefooted, no, because by walking barefooted, no, we will especially walk on a river bank, which there are many rocks or stones,
Mm-hmm.
no, or even on a forest or on the grass, because that allow your sense nerve endings to sense the temperature, the energies on the ground, no.
Mm-hmm.
By practicing that, you are or activating the root chakras, the nerves on the, because the root chakra extends to the sole of the feet, no.
Mm-hmm.
By allowing yourself to sense, no, the temperature, the heat, or either heat of the ground, no, you will know that you are standing for your own, you are standing for yourself, because many people nowadays, no, are living their life, no, wanting to be someone else, wanting to be, oh, I want to be beautiful like this person, I want to be like this, I want to have that because I don't have it, no. That's why we are very anxious. Our mind is focused on outside us, not within us. Pero by allowing ourselves to feel what we do, what we are, such as walking on a river banks, no, of course, or even walking on the mountain, uphill, no, you should stand by your own talaga, no. You will work out for your own safety first, in order for you to save others or to help others. So in order for us to we should be aware of ourselves instead of always thinking of others. So give that exercise. So walking uphill to the mountain, or walking on the river banks, or on the beach, no, it will allow you to bring yourself or focus yourself to your mind, to your own self, to be aware of your own self, to feel the senses that, oh, it's hot. I'm not feeling if you are hot or cold, but what I feel is what is coming to my skin, what is coming to my foot, no. So it allow us, it bring back us back to our person. And the root chakra is or the tumbong is telling us na feel that and learn from the lessons of what is being presented to you, and not just what is other telling you to do.
This is big too, because you also started talking about sitting and pausing, and being grounded is to be able just to be still and aware. And I think you also shared feel that, feel whatever comes up, feel the uncomfortability. And what I've often seen, and also I've done, is what can I do to numb it? Or what can I do to not feel this uncomfortability anymore? And so then instead you miss out the lesson, and then you do that, like, it's kind of a sugar fix. And then you're like, okay, well, that lesson is going to come again. But you had your sugar fix and that felt good for you. But all right, you like missed the chance for that. Okay, oh well, it's going to come back around. But we'll be here, like looking at the time, like, okay, when you're ready. So that's also something in terms of like, what are the ways that also we numb or avoid, is also easy, is just on the phone. And then also we don't even recognize the scan of just like, what are other people doing? This idea of also like looking out instead of looking within, and being responsible for yourself. And I spoke with another coach, Carlo Parsons, recently. I feel like it was yesterday, but this day was super long. He was also talking about leadership, and leadership is when you know thyself, and also when you know that you have your own back. It's taking responsibility for your actions and knowing that you can handle it. So it's taking ownership of your actions, responsibility, and that knowing like that you're capable, that you have your own back. And that's at the bottom line of, not even bottom line, but that's the essence of leadership. It's not who you influence, it's not who you can attract. It's really having complete self-control over yourself.
Indeed, no. Like what I've said, like what I've mentioned, diba? Your butt used to sit, and that sit is also about seat of power, no. So it is connected also to your courage. It is also connected to your courage. I don't know if I have mentioned that we have a terminology here in the Philippines called bahag ang buntot. No, it means you have a short tail. This is an observation by our ancestors to the dogs. Diba, usually dogs are very fierce. Wow, 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 wow. But when you come near, it will turn back and their tails will go downward. So it means cowardice, no? It deals with that issue with trust. It will deal with issues of fear, no? So usually the term bahag ang buntot is a form of idiomatic expression pertaining to the person that are coward, no, that are coward, and like the bullies and everything, they are coward because they are hiding their own fear and wanted that only their strength be shown up, but in reality they are coward or they are fearful, no. And even on those on the seat of power, no, our root chakra are the ones that make us empower to allow us like to have a straight back. And when you are in power, it's not because that seat is easily available, but it has many responsibilities and duties and responsibilities. It's not only on power of okay, serve me, but instead you are serving other people. So it has a wide meaning, no, to discuss with regards to the root chakra, and I think we are exploring a lot, no, through this discussion and probably on the following days until the time of our workshop start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I just wanted to see like if you have anything, if you like last comments to share, if anyone else also on the in the group here in the chat had any questions as as like this is just very fascinating and interesting of like the connection of um tradition and also ways that how we apply it to today. And so I'm just so grateful for you doing the work and your research and just the wisdom that you're sharing with us.
Actually, thank you, no, because before we started this video, we found out that the goddess Mayari, the Mayari or the creator, gives you an inspiration to do this project so that we could reconnect again to to the treasure box in the past that we could bring it out today in the future. No, I think let us be together, no, everyone here, even those who are watching now and even in the future time to come, to join us in this effort of wearing back our own identity by being proud of who we are as a Filipino, being a children of Mayari.
Mm. Whew. Yeah, that is beautiful. By wearing back our identity. And being proud children of the creator, the creation. Yep, that's where we are. So I'm speechless. So grateful. I'm so grateful for those that have joined us and for like this in-depth like history lesson and connections. I'm definitely absorbed in my brain and my heart. So thank you so much. And we'll definitely have more to share.
I hope everyone will be there also when Mayari workshop will begin.
Yes, because that's where also we will get the deeper conversations and really deeper connections with everyone that joins us. So May 11th, we will start the course, and you can register in my bio, in my link of Mayari registration or Mayari spring registration, and you can sign up there. So yeah, come on board to this wearing our identity proudly.
It is very timely that we stood up again and be proud of who we are, and I think Mayari workshop, spring registration will be an instrumental tool of waking us up for who we are. Talaga.
What do you mean by timely?
Timely, yes, because many people are just want to be westernized, or Filipino here want to be Chinese or to be white or to be black. But now Mayari is waking us up. Hey, be proud. You're brown. You're Filipino. You are my children. Actually, not even as a Filipino eh. You are children of Mayari. You are Magiting. Something like that.
What is
No? You are great. Great.
right? You're all get to be proud of who you are in the skin that you're in.
Yes, yes, yes. No. So actually, through this workshop, no, I think it opened up a lot of of realization and inspiration. And I think my next project will be the aura. We don't have aura.
What is that? Out of
The aura, the auric field. The auric field, no? We don't have that. Pero we don't have that teaching, but we have that similar concept, and soon I will reveal.
soon you will reveal. Wonderful. Oh, well, I can't wait. So good. So good to see you. And we will talk more. I hope everyone has a good night and you have a good day.
Yes. So thank you very much for inviting me in, and for you over there in the West, good evening, have a good night, and for us here, it's almost lunchtime.
So enjoy. I know there's no space and time, but enjoy your day, everyone. Look forward to seeing you in Mayari and more talks. Mwah.
Okay, bye. Goodbye.